Good morning, people. Good morning, or good afternoon, as we say, because it's already 12. I started drinking this French press. I don't know what to think of it, but let's talk about Hyper Tough real quick, and particularly the 12-volt lineup. I seen Caleb talk about this in his channel, young guy, nice channel that he has, and comparing this to other brands or whatnot. And I seen his video yesterday. And my thoughts about this unit. You're not gonna expect much for Hyper Tough, right? One thing that I will mention, he said he bought his set for $25. These go for $50, okay? And they're brushless. But I bought this for a little bit over $26, $27. And my thoughts on this, to be honest with you, if you don't need something contract grade and you just need something just to turn, and this is throwing the car and you don't want to, throwing your expensive tools, and you're just out and about and you're just doing light work. I see a lot of mechanics using this because there's a lot of parts in the cars that people need to take out. And but anyway, going back to what he was talking about yesterday, and particularly, I think Hyper Tough, especially their 12-volt line, is okay, but don't expect it to be a Milwaukee or DeWalt or anything like that. They just, I don't want to say they toys, because these are tools, but they're not contract grade. Let's put it like that. To do little minute things like this, to put things together, or disassemble or whatnot, I think you'll do okay. What do you expect, for something that costs $50 with a battery and a charger? You can't really cry about it. Like, I got this for a little bit over 26, maybe 27, I don't remember. It didn't come with the charger because it was missing the charger. That's why I got it so cheap. And I also got this one. This is a brush. Okay. This is a brush drill. And you never know, like, if you out and about, like, I always carry like I call it like a bug out bag. Okay. And in that bug out bag, I would throw something like this in it, because you never know when you need a drill. And a drill is so valuable. And I bought this, honestly, this didn't come with a charger as well. It did come with the battery and the drill. This is brushed, this is not brushless. And I bought this for $11. It was on clearance. I said, you know what? How can you beat that? $11 for a battery and a drill. And yes, I do plan to get their charger pretty soon. I'm gonna get their high-end charger, which I think is well worth it. My thoughts on Hyper Tough. They okay. They just don't expect a lot from it, because you do pay for what you get. And if you get something cheap like this, don't expect much. Don't expect it to be Milwaukee grade, Come on, look at the chuck. The chuck is plastic. You know, this is metal, but the chuck is plastic. And to be honest with you, this drill, it's not bad. It's not a bad drill. I tried it out, and but for $11, you can't beat that with a baseball bat. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, my thoughts, particularly on their 12-volt lineup, yes, they suck, but you don't always need the latest and greatest to do a certain job. And to throw these in a bag, a to-go bag, and you never know when you need a drill and a driver. And sometimes you don't really need a contract grade tool, right? So this would be like something to throw on. Or I could go even further. And say these are good gifts to give to somebody that's a DIY, that's just getting into tools, that's you don't wanna break the bank. You have a good friend of yours that doesn't know anything about tools. These could be good gifts, because and people will appreciate that. I know I sure will, if anybody gives me any type of gifts. So yeah, there's something to think about. And they're just to be honest with you, their 12-volt lineup, I seen the reviews on their, you know, all their tools, their rotaries, stuff like that. A lot of people complain, and my thoughts on that is, I wouldn't buy all those extra tools, but when it comes to their drills, their impacts, even their wrench, the impact wrench, compact impact wrench, they're decent. But other than that, other than all the other tools that they got in their lineup, I'll be honest with you, I would not invest in those. But when it comes to their drills, their impacts, and their impact wrenches, those are something that, you know, you may want to and I forgot to mention, they also have ratchets. And you know, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you just want something to work, I don't think there's nothing wrong with going with Hyper Tough, honestly. And they're brushless, so, and I think you get a 2-year warranty, if I'm not mistaken. With I don't know if it's with Walmart or Hyper Tough. But that's my thoughts. Yes, I will give it a thumbs up, Hyper Tough, but with a caveat to mention that you're not gonna get Milwaukee quality, right? But does it work? Yes. Are you gonna build houses with it? No. Are you gonna do like stuff like put a hole in the wall, or you know, things like that? I think it's okay. You know, if you're gonna mount the TV, I think it's okay. If you're gonna mount a picture on the wall, I think it's okay. If you're gonna do like little wood projects, I think it's all right. Like little things. But if you're gonna build a whole house, you know, you're gonna have to step your game up, of course. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to definitely step your game up. And not even the 12-volt Milwaukee tools, to be honest with you, are not built like that. You're probably gonna have to go with the M18. You know, if you're gonna be really serious about building houses or whatnot. So, you know, but I honestly think the 12-volt line is okay, even especially for the price point that I paid for them. I know he did a torture test. I would not recommend doing these on a torture test. The reason being is because these are not contract grade tools. Neither is the Milwaukee, and I might get a lot of flag, but the M12 Milwaukees, I wouldn't even consider them contract grade, because I have the M12 and the M18, and I have both of them, and the M18 always wins. So not even the M12 lineup is contract grade, except for their ratchets, stuff like that. Their ratchets, what is it? But you're doing mechanical work, and you're in and out, and you need those tools. Yeah, I will go with either Milwaukee. I'll even go as far as saying DeWalt has pretty good ratchets now. I just think Milwaukee wins in that aspect because of the compactness of their ratchets and impacts. The M12 wins in that aspect, but I don't know. I still think, and especially the ratchets, Milwaukee kind of has ahead of the curve out of all the brands. I just think all the other brands, like DeWalt and all that, their batteries stick out too much. But I heard that DeWalt ratchets are a lot stronger and powerful than the Milwaukees, and it has to be because they're running on a 20 volt, and I think they did away with the 12 volt line. I think they just gave up on it, and but if I had to choose, if I was in the mechanic, because I do have a couple of Milwaukees there, but if I had to choose, if I was a mechanic, you can't go wrong with either or. But if I had to choose, if I was a mechanic, I would definitely go with Milwaukee, definitely M12, and but that's just me. The M12 is this compact. You could go through a lot more things and maneuvering if you're working on cars. But yeah, going back to this Hyper Tough, I don't think they're a bad option. I think they get a thumbs up for me. Everybody's different, you know. Especially for the price point, which you're getting them for, because you could walk into any Walmart and get an impact, a brushless impact, with a battery and a charger for like $50. You can't do that anywhere unless you get a clearance deal and a miracle happens, which that does happen from time to time, but not all the time. Let's face it. That's my thoughts. Hyper Tough is a win for me. Other people may say, "Oh, that's trash," and everybody's entitled to their opinion. Opinions are like armpits. Everybody has them. So that's it. Love you guys. Peace. We out.